What's up, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube? Comic Solution coming at you once again. Today I am giving you a few thoughts about my viewing of the Black Panther. I went to see Black Panther late last night. I know it's a little bit late as far as some of the YouTube videos coming out. I apologize, but the movie times were very difficult to get a ticket for. I ended up going to see it late last night. I was able to get one ticket and it was at the very front row, so I don't have some of the premiere passes that some of the bigger YouTubers like Philip DeFranco or the Angry Joe Show are given access to, obviously. So I apologize, but I'm just going to kind of give a brief, fast debriefing of what I saw, my thoughts of it, things such as that. It's not going to be a full-on half spoiler free, half spoiler video, because I actually think that this is one of those movies you should actually go out and see for yourself if you can, if you're able to, if you have the finances. It's totally worth it. I also think that it's one of those things that you should see because you should support these kinds of things. Now, there's been a lot of controversy over the Black Panther movie. A lot of people don't particularly support the movie. Of course, those with issues with diversity or race or things like that. Of course, I'm not one of those people. I don't have an issue like that, and I think it's pretty silly. And the only people I think really have an issue with it are particularly sensitive individuals or people with a race issue. Now, that being said, this movie, I did like it a lot. I didn't love it as much as some people, but I do think it accomplishes a lot. I do think it's one of Marvel's best films because it does break the mold. For those people who are taking issue with it, who say that it has gone too far, or it's, portraying black people as people, right? Just remember that this is a Marvel movie. This takes place in a universe where Thor and Iron Man and Spider-Man are running rampant through the world. The X-Men are mutants, right? That was the first diversification of the Marvel universe, for the mutants and the non-mutants that had the clash, and there was kind of a genetic homicide between Magneto and all of that kind of thing. Well, real aliens live in this universe. Superhumans live in this universe. Now super black humans also live in this universe. So I don't think it's that far-fetched. I think they're trying to milk it for what it is. I do think it was good. But I'll go over some of my general reactions. First of all, I thought that the acting was great. Michael B. Jordan's portrayal of the villain was amazing. It almost made me fall more. I'm not going to say that I supported the villain, but I was very much taken by the villain as far as his acting goes. I thought he was a very strong character. He was very bad. He did a lot of bad things, but he's a strong character, and he was portrayed very well. T'Challa was great. Also, the supporting cast, the women of the movie were fantastic. It was interesting because it, portrayed the black individuals in that role. That's something that's not as common. There have been movies that support black people in the way that it does, but Black Panther finally puts it at the forefront. This is not actually the first Black Panther portrayal of a movie. It is his first solo film, obviously. But if you saw Civil War, he was there. But this gives him the origin story that'll really do things for the Marvel Universe going forward. And as far as that goes, it was great. So the beginning of the movie, you get some origin story. You see Black Panther, you see his roommate, not in Wakanda, but in an apartment in California in some lower economic neighborhood. And you see the children there, you see them playing basketball, you see who ends up being the villain. And And then from there, it takes kind of a twist of the individual, not in the light that you would see him, which is really an interesting origin story for Black Panther, because he's actually a man who came from Wakanda, and he had the vibranium that made him who he was. And from there, it was developed into a action movie, kind of a Mission Impossible, James Bond, Iron Man collaboration. A lot of cool gadgetry, a lot of cool backstory, a lot of very interesting lore about the vibranium. And I really thought the movie took off at that point. People complain about the slow pace of the movie. I didn't have an issue with it as much. I will say the people around me who I was seeing the movie with kind of had that impression. I personally don't agree with that as much. I'm giving you kind of a raw reaction, so I mean, if upon another viewing I possibly might have that feeling, but I thought it was pretty interesting, pretty captivating. It did get slow at some points, but overall it was pretty good. It really picks up around that part that I talked about though, and from there the villain and the escalation of the plot really take off, which I do love that part. And I thought it really went fast after that, and it really took off into being a great movie. So that was very cool. I don't want to get into what happens towards the end, but there's a great theme and moral there that I might go into at a later video, but I do want you guys to see this movie. And there is an underlying theme there of solidarity, not just between black people, but people as a whole, and those who really support us versus those who do not, which will be very interesting to see in the Infinity War movie, which will be something I'll talk about at a later day, because obviously I don't know how that's going to pan out, but it will be. I am fascinated to see what Marvel will do with that in the future. Some people are saying this movie is portraying black people just to do it, diversity for diversity's sake. I don't agree with that. I think it does build them up. I think it does take a great step forward in that role. But I don't think it was done just to do it. I think it was done very well. It was very thoughtfully drawn out. To quote Jerry Seinfeld, I don't care if a man is black, white, as long as he's funny, as long as the movie's good, as long as it's done well. Michael Jordan said that about Steve Kerr. If he's black, if he's white, as long as he can play, it doesn't matter. And that's how I feel about this movie. So I will not go on for too much longer, but I do think you guys should see this movie because it breaks the mold for the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Go out there and see it. For all of you watching at home, this is Comic Solution signing off. Thanks for watching. I love you guys to death, and don't forget to keep it Duffy.